Hello and welcome to Tewksbury Public Library's Teen Take and Make Pride Bracelets. Here you'll see you can choose from a myriad of colors to show your pride flag. On the way left we have our inclusive flag, and you'll see there's a few other varieties here. So you've been provided with, and these are actually perler beads, so you can choose a lot of colors from these options. And then you also have 2 heart beads for the ends, the string right here for the cord, and the perler beads are our material. We're going to start with our cord here. We're just going to find the center because that's roughly where we're going to want to put our beads. If we have extra on the ends, it's totally fine. I usually match them up and then go from there to get an idea of where the center is. We're just going to start from right to left. I laid out the colors at the top, you can see, and I'm starting with purple. I'm going to continue on to blue, green, then yellow, orange, red, then black, brown, light teal, pink, and white for the inclusive flag colors for Pride. So I'm just making one knot here so I can put the first color on without it sliding right off. I'm just making a knot roughly a little off center. Again, if you're not perfect center, we can just trim it at the end. And there's just, I have right here the first few colors. I also have an example of what it's going to look like at the end, just roughly right here. So this is what it's going to look like. So we'll continue on. Alright, now that we have all our colors on, we're just going to tie a knot in the end. This is just going to keep our beads on our string here, so we're just tying a single knot. I actually end up doing a double knot here just because the beads keep sliding off on me, so just a knot in the end, and then you can double knot both ends if you find that it is sliding off on you. You can see my purple slid off right there, so I'm just going to push that back up and double knot both sides. For this project. So we're just going to try on our bracelet here, get an idea of how long we want our bracelet to be. So you can see it's kind of roughly, maybe like for me, I have small wrists, so probably like 1.5 inches roughly. So I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a knot, but not all the way. I'm going to do that on both sides here. And you can see, so the space that's between the end of the knot where the colored beads are in the circle of the knot that we've made, we're going to want that to be about half the size of the rest of our wrist here. So roughly the size of where we pinched it before when it was around our wrist. You can kind of go around and kind of get an idea. If it's a little bit bigger, that's okay. We can actually adjust it later. Same if it's too small, we can still adjust it. So I'm just going to put like about, I think I did 2 inches, roughly 1.5 inches from both sides, equally on both sides. But we're not going to pull those knots all the way closed. We're actually going to take the string from the opposite side and pull it into it. And then we're going to pull the knot. So you're going to see I'm taking that string from the other side, and then I'm going to tie the knot around it. So I'm going to pull the strings around that, that string we pulled through. It doesn't look like anything just yet, but that's the start. So we're going to do the same to the other side. We're going to take the string, it's usually the longer one, and we're going to pull it through to the other side. So we're just switching strings to the knot on the opposite side. We're just going to pull that knot closed right there. It's going to create kind of a slip knot effect in terms of the bracelet. The little strings that are hanging out, we're going to put our little beads that's going to dangle with the heart beads on them. And then, so this can be adjustable, so you can take it off, but you can also put it back on. As you can see, I'm adjusting it. So what you want to do to open it up, you pull the loop between the 2 knots, and then to tighten it, you pull the 2 strings. So you'll see right here, I'm just going to add the little heart strings to the end. It's also a good time to trim it, so you can decide how long you want it. Make sure to leave some slack, because you want to make sure you have enough room on that heartstring area to be able to open it up enough for you to put it on your wrist. And we're just going to tie a little knot below our heartstring after we string it on, and we're going to do that for both sides. We're also going to trim beneath that knot because we no longer need that extra string right down there. It's true. And just be careful when you're cutting the string to not get your fingers in the way. Just trim off that excess. And that's just about the finished product. So make sure you can adjust it. So like I said, you can pull the knots apart, or you put your fingers between the loop between the 2 knots, and you can pull on the heartstrings to tighten it once you have it on. Now mine's a little bit big, so I'm going to show you how to adjust it if yours is either too big or too small. But this is what it looks like if you like it a little loose. You can see this is how you adjust it. So if you do want to adjust it, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open up those knots that we've made. So you're going to try to untie them, but in that string with the heart on it, we're going to keep there, and what we're going to do is we're going to shorten that length from the knot to the beads. So that's what I'm doing to make it smaller. If it's too big, we're going to move that knot farther away from the beads, but we're still going to keep that string with the heart bead on it inside of the knot loop. Or if it's giving you trouble, you can pull it out. Just make sure to put it back through. That's actually what I did here. And if you are adjusting the bracelet, if you do it for one side, try to get it roughly the same length between the knot and the beads with the other side as well. So you can see this is my newly adjusted version. This is if you need to adjust it. If you don't, then you're already done. This is just to show how you can if you need to. So I have really small wrists, so I made mine a little extra small because I didn't mind the fact that the knots didn't meet around my when I put it on. So you'll see I'm just going to try it. Adjust it, make sure it adjusts well. I want to slip it on. Pull it down here, so I make sure I can definitely pull it down. And then I'm going to pull on those heartstrings right there. You can see it's not, the knots aren't meeting together, but I actually kind of like it that way. So there we go. There's an adjusted version of our adorable Pride Inclusion bracelet. All right, thanks for watching, and be sure to check us out on our Instagram page at TPL Teen, as well as our library of social medias.